Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Northern English Language Teachers Collaboration Network Sabah, or in short NELCoNS, I'd like to warmly welcome all of you to tonight's Community of Practice session. This webinar is part of our ongoing series of NELCoNS webinars, where we aim to share best practices, classroom strategies, and practical insights to support English teachers in the Northern Zone and beyond. Tonight's focus is very interesting. We have MUET, Note Expansion Strategies in Writing and Speaking for A1 and A2 students. I trust this session will offer valuable insights for everyone here. Before we begin, let me share how the session will be conducted. We will have 45 minutes of presentation by our speaker today. This will be followed by a 15-minute Q&A, question and answer session. If you have questions during the talk, please type them in the chat and we will address them during the Q&A. At the end of the session, we will share the registration form link for your attendance, the record for your attendance. Please make sure to fill it in. We also ask that you write your reflection in the Padlet, which we will share the link later. This is very important as it shows active participation and helps us strengthen our NELCoNS activities. And lastly, don't forget to follow the NELCoNS Facebook page for updates on our upcoming webinar in this series. This is the third episode of the ongoing NELCoNS webinar series. Our invited speaker, let me introduce our speaker for this evening, Cikgu Feiruzie Suhana binti Abdul Aziz from Pusat Tingkatan 6, Gombak, Selangor. Hello, Cikgu Feiruzie. Cikgu Feiruzie is a senior Form 6 teacher with 28 years of experience, a TESOL graduate from University Kebangsaan Malaysia. She began her career in her hometown of Muar, Johor, before serving in several schools and later in Selangor. Since 2008, she has been actively involved in Form 6 teaching and has been frequently invited to share her expertise in webinars and online sessions for schools and institutions across the country. Driven by her passion for English language teaching, she actively shares useful insights, drawing from both successes and challenges to inspire and support fellow teachers and peers. She also serves as one of the state's master trainers for Form 6 English. Please join me in welcoming Cikgu Feiruzie Suhana. How are you today?
Okay, I'm good. Thank you, Dr. Betty.
Yeah, I'm sure you are excited to share what you have with our audience tonight. What can we expect from the
Yes.
session today?
Okay. This is just a sharing session. Yeah, I'm just sharing what I've applied in class and what I've observed in class. So, basically, it's the challenges and strategies for us to teach writing and speaking, especially to low proficiency students.
Thank you. That will be very useful, especially now many of our students, they really need support in terms of the levels. We have mostly very challenging, struggling students. So I hope that your sharing will be beneficial to everyone. Without further ado, I now hand the session over to you, Cikgu Feiruzie, to share your insights and how we can help our pre-university students as well as other students, particularly the ones who are in A1 and A2 levels, to ace their writing and probably speaking papers through note expansion strategies.
Yes.
The floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Betty. Hi, everyone. Right. Okay, as mentioned by Dr. Betty just now, I'm actually going to share with all of you, teachers, about what I've observed, what I've done in my class, especially to the low proficiency students. And this is focus more on writing and speaking classes, and for this to improve these two skills, I specifically will talk about note expansion strategies. Okay, so before we go on to our slides, let me just share with you the aim of our talk tonight. So that's the aim. The first one is to identify the challenges in teaching writing and speaking, especially for low proficiency students. So there are a few things later I will share with you. And of course, when we are faced with challenges, we also want the solution. We want the techniques to overcome all these challenges. So I'm gonna share with you some strategies. Maybe you've done all this, but it's just that a refresher, right? And lastly, it's in general, I want to help this low proficiency student to at least score their MUET test, right? Okay. So next, this is our focus tonight, bite writing and speaking. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with bite, bahasa Inggeris Tingkatan 6, right? Okay. Next. Uh, okay. Just a quick saying, yeah, from Confucius, right? In speaking, he said, it is best to be clear and say just enough to convey the meaning. So this is what we as teachers should aim for. Whenever we are teaching for, whenever we are teaching our students, for them to be clear and say just enough. We do not want them to ramble on and on, but saying nothing. Yeah? All right. So next. These are the challenges. As I mentioned there, it's what I observe in class actually, right? Okay, let's look at in the field or in the aspect of teaching writing. So task one, if everyone is familiar, right? It's email or letter writing, or we can generally say it's communication, right? Communicational language. So here, uh, those are some of the things that I've seen student doing, most of these low proficiency students doing, is they miss the prompts. Now, when I talk about prompts here, I talk about the question itself, the question of email and letter writing. This low proficiency student, they miss the prompts. They couldn't pinpoint, or they couldn't address or reply to the prompts given. Next, which I highlighted in red there, missing point of reference. So uh, this is very obvious mistakes or challenge that students face when they write. They couldn't refer to the specific point that the sender is talking about. So later I'll show you what it what it meant by missing point of reference. Now the next one, the challenge that we face is they couldn't be able to elaborate, or sometimes no elaboration at all in writing an email or letter. Now, in task two, the challenges that we face, or we see happening, is when students attempt academic writing, right? They uh, couldn't write a complete, a good thesis statement, right? So because it's an academic writing, so this is a very crucial feature of academic writing. For an essay to smoothly flow, right? There's no thesis statement to refer to. Okay, the next one is they have no structure in the response. These students and this weak student, I'll I know alternately say low proficiency and weak student. Yeah, okay. So this weak student, they do not have the structure in their response. They write whatever they like, and then suddenly they go again, mentioning the idea in the first sentence. So therefore we say they do not have structure in their response. And of course, the third challenge that we see is for the students to come up with ideas. They are actually lacking in the ideas. They cannot elaborate as in part one or task one. Sorry, task one. They cannot elaborate the idea given. Now here, the idea is coming from themselves. So that's where they are. Uh, you know, they are the bad point in their essay. They are lacking in uh, ideas. Okay, next, this is some of the uh, recommended strategies for writing challenges. Okay, so a few things. I go from task one to the next, right? Because following the order just now. Okay, task one, I will tell my students to annotate the needed response for them to scribble on the letter or email themselves. They shouldn't be replying to a very clean letter. They should annotate. They make note. What should I reply? Oh, this point or that point. So annotation is very important. Okay. And the second strategy or second technique that I use for these weak students are actually what I always tell them: repeat, repeat, and repeat. Now, what am I referring to here? Remember on the previous slide, I I observed that their challenge, one of the challenges is okay, missing point of reference. So this is one way for you to teach the student to not miss the point there. All right. Okay. And lastly, the challenge of no elaboration, right? Okay. So no elaboration. I told them. Please write something that is not in the letter. So therefore, that will be counted as elaboration. Uh, so it's not simply saying, how are you? Yes, I'm fine. Okay. So there's that idea of having, more explanation. So tell something that is not in the letter. Right. Okay. In task two, what I suggest teachers can do is, of course, when we say they couldn't write thesis statement correctly, completely, there's a certain uh, ideas to put in a thesis statement. So we have to give more thesis statement exercises. Don't simply I'm the person who believe that quality over quantity. It's not the how many essays that you write, it's how good is your essay. So uh, tell them, never mind, you may write only one essay in 2 weeks, but your essay would be very would have very high quality, or at least have quality, right? Okay, so teachers, please give more thesis statement exercises. And next, for remember the challenge for having no structure responses. So I propose this peel structured answer. I'll get to that later. All right. And lastly, for no elaboration or lacking in ideas, we can help them actually, through I call it scaffolding reading. What does it mean? Like a scaffold, right? When you build a house, you start with one level. So don't be afraid of putting the level of your reading passages to maybe -1. Minus, I mean, yes, they are already at A1, A2. What more, how low can we go, right? So never mind, let them have the confidence. That is how you get to these weak students, build their confidence gradually. So I notice when my students, they can understand a reading passage, right? They feel very accomplished. They say, hey, I can understand this. It's not that bad. So later you build up this level of reading. I mean, reading level, and then give them a more difficult but the same issue, right? Okay, so this is what I call scaffolding reading, right? Okay, next, remember annotation, right? For task one, uh, this is what I meant by annotate. Okay, when you have the letter or maybe email, ask the student to take a pen or red pen, would be better, you know, annotate what is it that you have to respond to. Yeah. Okay. So here I will say to my students, right, annotate from number 1 to number 10. There should be around 10 things that you have to answer, right? It's not just the marginal notes there. Remember, right? You look at the question there. There's the prompt there, at the margin there, right? So it's not just that. Yeah, there are more to it. So ask the student to annotate. Yeah, and turn this slowly into a habit where whenever they want to write a reply, they'll write the annotation. They make annotation. So as I mentioned just now, a student shouldn't be replying to uh, a beautifully clean question paper, right? Okay, so that's one idea, right? Okay, next one, uh, the same, what do you call that, email or letter, we have given to the students. Ask them to highlight, to annotate. So again, turning everything into a habit. And for me, my weak student, they love having this, because they say, teacher, I have 8 point to that I annotate, or teacher, I have only 5. So they feel, where is it, where are the rest? So this would slowly build up again uh, their confidence in writing, right? So yes, we slowly build up their confidence. Weak students or low proficiency students, they feel very inferior. They say, I'm not good. Last time in SPM, I get only E, right? But we know for SPM, even if you get A plus, you may not get band 5, perhaps even band 4.5, right? So it's a totally different league there for English, SPM and MUET here. Okay, so that's annotation for you, right? So that's what we can do. Annotate, red pen, highlighter, this point, that point. Ask the student to do that. Turn it into a habit. Yeah. All right. Okay. Next one. Okay. Remember, missing point of reference. Okay. Missing point of reference. What I meant here is, okay, let me go back to the previous what do you call that slide, let look at the question here. All right. So the question is asking about here. I hope. Okay. Hi Jane. Right. I hope you are doing fine. All right. So some students, they simply say hi. What's the name here? Hi Alice. Hi Alice. I'm fine. Suddenly, hi Alice, I'm fine. So may be this may not be a good reply, because suddenly it's hi and I'm fine. You know, hi Alice, I'm fine. So how is this a good essay, or sorry, a good email, when you don't have the proper structure of an email? So ask your students to begin your email like a proper email. Hi Alice, how are you? I'm fine, thank you for asking. Right. So they missing the point there will let their score uh, lower. I mean, they will get lower score later. Right. Okay. So again, what is a missing point of reference? Okay, let's look at this. First paragraph still. I'm sorry I couldn't go with you to the book fair last week. Now, why do I highlight that? When uh, the fact is, the idea to be the idea for the student to respond is interesting. So which part is interesting? Right. So we will read, or the student will read through, and they say, oh teacher, this is the part. How was the fair? Right. How was the book fair? So the student would answer, interesting, it is interesting. So it is interesting. Right. Okay, by right, it is correct. But in a letter, when you simply say it is interesting, what does that it refer to? This is what I meant by missing point of reference, right? Okay, so let's look back at our solution. What can we do? Okay, repeat, repeat, and repeat. Now, what does it mean? Okay, I always say to my students, repeat whatever you see in the letter that you get. eh? Like for example, I'm sorry, I couldn't go with you to the book fair last week. So, when people say you are sorry, yeah, uh, sorry, usually what we say, sorry, oh never mind, that's another case. But here, I'm sorry that I couldn't be there with you. So sorry here for not being able to present, or to be present for the book fair with the friend. Right. So what would the friend say? Never mind. Right. Maybe never mind, they'll, or you can at least say, oh, you can come with me later, or for a new or future book fairs, maybe. Right. So uh, how do you respond to that? I'm sorry I couldn't go with you to the book fair last week. When people say you are sorry, couldn't go with you, so you have to reply in the function. Right. So be sympathetic. I say, oh, I'm sorry too that you couldn't be there because you're not feeling well, because the person say she's not feeling well. Right. So I'm sorry you are sick. Right. uh, but never mind about the book fair, health matters first. Something like that. You have to repeat the idea. Couldn't go with you because I'm sick. So that idea, repeat that. Yeah. Now I gave you another or different one, different structure, where sometimes in the letter you get this. I heard that everyone who attended got a free sample. And then the letter goes on. So how do you reply to that point? uh, you can this again. Why am I using a similar response there? Yes, 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 because it's for low proficiency students, right? So remember, they need something solid. They couldn't think ahead of their level. So we say, okay, never mind. You say, yes, everyone who attended. That's what I meant by repeating the idea. Repeating what you have read. So, yes, everyone who attended got a free sample. Therefore, the challenge or the mistake of missing point of reference can be eliminated. Yeah, so far good. All right. So number two, here we see, just a content of an email or letter, right? Mira told me that the organizer will be holding another competition. So how do respond to that? You say yes. The organizer, oh, there's a mistake there. The organizer will be holding another competition. Right. So we have that idea. Yeah. So yes, whatever is mentioned, you mention it again. Tell the student to do that again. You would say, so very, say, no, not same, very easy one. Very easy, respond. Yes, we are actually aiming for low proficiency students, so we cannot go, or be ambitious and teach them very high level of, reply. So it's good that they understood the idea, and have that repeated in their reply. Right. So next one, I heard everyone had fun. So what can the student repeat? Yes, everyone had fun. See? Uh, It's the same thing. Yes, what you heard is correct. Yes, this is what happened. Right. So Madam May said they need some volunteers. Yes, some volunteers are needed. This one a little bit of structure change, where in the content it's active, active structure. Now we change it to some volunteers are needed. It's passive structure. eh? Okay, so I hope you understood what I meant by, not by repeating, so that the student won't be making that mistake of missing point of reference. All right, everybody. Okay, next one. Okay, remember when I say this low proficiency student, they cannot elaborate, or they would come to you and say what to say. What to say. I've already repeated what the person say. So what else can I say? So something that is not in the letter or in the email. Right? Like for example, okay, I go back to the idea just now. Yes, everyone who attended got a free sample, right? Give very simple idea that is not inside the letter, original letter. So you can put there, okay, free sample. What free sample can you ask your students first. What free sample do you get usually when you go to supermarket? Oh, some of us got shampoo, body lotion. So you can write there. Some of us got free shampoo, some got body lotion, right? So, free sample, elaborate it to what are the things, example, what are the examples, right? Okay, next sentence. Yes, the organizer will be holding another competition, right? So just that, it's just mentioning. You haven't got the elaboration or expansion to that point, right? So teacher, what to write? So yes, when you say yes, it will hold another competition. Give me when. Answer the question when. It will be held in December 20th. Right. So that is the idea that is not in the letter or email here. All right. Number three, yes, everyone had fun. So, fun. Give me ideas of fun. Okay, we can say we took a lot of photos together. This is fun, taking photos, and even plan another meetup soon. Right. So, having a reunion or having to get together is very fun. Right. Okay, number four, yes, some volunteers are needed, right? Just now we mentioned that. So what can we say about this? Maybe you can add ideas about, okay, volunteers. Usually, when people volunteer, they will get what? Do they get money? Do they get prizes? Oh, they will get certificate. You can say, you can actually, ask the students to brainstorm. Giving bits and ideas of what you call that, for that point. Elaboration. I mean, volunteers usually, when you volunteer, what do you get? Let them come up with the vocab. Yeah. Because again, another challenge that we observe, or I observe in this weak students, they are lacking in vocabulary. Yeah. They have the idea. Usually my students, Malay students usually say, teacher, in Malay, there, right? So I say, try, try. If you don't know that word, try some words that you understand, or you get in your mind, right? All right. So that is the challenge to of what do you call that, uh, elaboration, or not elaborating the points for your writing, right? Okay. Next one. Okay. Uh, Now we look at challenges in teaching speaking. Now, remember, speaking and writing are very closely related, right? Those two are actually production skill, right? We have to produce one. I told my student, one, you produce it in uh, orally. Another one, you produce it in written or writing, right? Okay, in written language. Okay, so what are the challenges in teaching speaking, especially for low proficiency students? Now, let's look at this. We go to part one, which is individual presentation, right? Okay. Normally, this is a normal, challenge. Students feel it's very difficult for them to fully use the 2 minutes. I mean, this is again talking about low proficiency student. They feel, 2 minutes are very long, teacher, right? So, yes. What can we help them with later, right? And of course, when they speak below 2 minutes, uh, of course they do not have developed ideas. So again, lacking in content, they lacking the content, right? Okay, in part two, what are the challenges? This is very normal for weak students. They are very static interaction. Interaction means, usually they will go like this: A, B, C, and D, and go back A, B, C, and D. So we can see this is highlights of weak students' performance, right? So what can we help them with, right? Again, we can help them with the, uh, you know, writing the notes actually. Okay, I'll go to into that later. Uh, and next, okay, of course, when you do not have that dynamic in conversation, we can see there's no real interest to discuss, right? Uh, it's very robotic usually. It's very manual. They will, follow some script maybe, right? Okay, but it's not wrong. It's just that, we want to push them a little bit more than that. Don't just be a robotic, participant in the discussion. Okay. All right. Next. Um, okay. Recommended strategies for writing challenges. Now, writing and speaking, I actually combine both. Yeah. Okay. For part one, yeah. Um, the students. Now, yes, they are low speaking. Low proficiency students, right? Proficient student. So what can we help them with? uh, we can time them actually. Yeah? And when you do the assessment, tell them this is where you do your conclusion maybe. So I normally will ask my students to finish off only at the last 10 seconds. Then it will be very nicely done. 2 minutes will be fully used. Of course, there would be long pauses here and there, but not ask the student to only do the conclusion the last 10 seconds, right? Okay. And of course, in part one, we ask the students to uh, do this peel structured response. We mentioned peel just now, right? In writing, in speaking, this is also for writing. Yeah, part one. So part two, uh, how do you actually remember I uh, mentioned the challenge for part two is no very static interaction. So how can we have a more beautiful, beautifully dynamics in the conversation? So we can have some role play maybe. When students are put in exam situation, they feel very nervous, anxious, but try to just change your discussion to a role play situation. Maybe you can say, okay, you be the policeman. You remember playing who's the victim, or not who's the victim, who's the criminal, right? So have that, but instead of just saying, are you the criminal, I know, but give the justification why I think you are the criminal, because why? Give that structure for them to say. So eventually, it is hard work for to be truth, but um role playing works. It takes time. Okay, so again, for part two, have them answer their question, or answer have their discussion in peel structured answer, right? Okay, and of course, again, we build schemata through scaffolding. Again, we use the application, the techniques that we applied in the speaking. That it's interrelated actually, writing and speaking, right? Okay, so next, okay, what is peel strategy, right? Okay, now I usually ask my students, okay, what is that? Oh, kupas teacher, kupas kopek. Yes, so this is what you have to do. Kopek, kupas what you say, right? Okay, so this is how it's done actually, right? What is peel? Tell your student peel is point. Yeah, your main idea, right? So that will become your topic sentence, right? Okay. So teacher, but tell them, although there's PEE, the double E, it doesn't mean two sentences there. You can have more E's for that. Yeah. Explain. Tell more about the point. Tell maybe the what, the why, the how, right? Okay. Uh, Example. Give a simple example. Maybe some story, some fact, or detail maybe, right? And you can have statistic maybe, right? And link, right? So when you want to finish your whatever you're saying, link it back to the question just now, right? Okay, all right. Uh, so let's look in detail what is PL. Okay, start with one clear sentence. Tell the students, okay, what is your point? One sentence, okay, not one word, one sentence. Okay, let them practice that, right? And then when explanation, okay, give explanation. You can actually, as teachers, you can prompt them. Okay, your point. They say something and say, okay, why? Okay, how? So that is actually prompting them towards that explanation, right? And then if you are okay, you are satisfied with whatever they explain, and then you can say, give me an example of that. Okay, real example. Or Okay, this and that. Never mind, you are like what do you call the interviewer, right? Okay, link, tie back your answer, tie back the student's answer to the question, right? Okay, let's look at how it's done in practice, right? Okay, next one. Okay, uh, if you are familiar, this is the question for our writing last semester. Uh, so parents should not pressure their children to perform well at school. That's the statement. So you ask the student, okay, give me some ideas, and they will perhaps brainstorm for some ideas. You know, just put their ideas on the board, and okay, let's do this. Let's make a sentence out of your point, right? Okay, so this is the time where you can ask them, okay, what's the conjunction? What's the cohesive device that we want to use there? You know, so eventually you'll be teaching a lot more than just note expansion. You will be teaching them grammar. Okay, let's for ideas, for listing of ideas, what are the connectors that we can use? Oh, firstly, most importantly, whatever it is, right? So let the student do that. Remember, it's low proficiency students, yeah. So very simple one. I know maybe you want to correct their sentence here and there. Okay. Parents should not pressure their children to perform well at school. Repeat. Ask them to repeat. Yeah. Because not all children are good at academics, which is true, right? So uh, tell them, okay, stop there. Okay. Why? So the why will become the explanation, the E, right? This is because. So that's why I highlight there in red, right? That this is because answering the question why. This is because there are children who are good at other aspects like sports and music. Okay, maybe they want to say something else more than that, right? But next you can prompt them. Okay, example, who, what, okay. So there are successful people who come from these fields, sports and music. Like, okay, why in blue? Because that's the real life example. Tell them to give real life example, right? Okay, so we have that. And then, okay, link, okay, therefore, another use of cohesive devices, right? Therefore, parents must not stress their children at school because they can always be excellent in other things. So this is very simple. Again, this is targeted for the weaker students, right? Okay, as long as they get the idea there, good enough already. Okay, so let's look at another strategy. That is peel, right? This is opposite case scenario. This is my own logic. Should I do this? Should I do that? And so opposite case scenario. What does it mean? Yeah. Okay. In practice, this is what it means. Okay. Right. Again, the same idea. Parents should not pressure their children to perform well at school. Okay, first idea. Why is it that you say that? Okay, kita ambil juga the same idea. Firstly, parents should not pressure their children to perform well at school because not all children are good at academics. Correct? This is because why? Remember, opposite case scenario, because if they pressure, what happened? If the children are pressured, they can suffer from anxiety or stress. See, another idea. It's opposite case scenario, right? Okay, example. What do you mean by anxiety and stress? Okay, there are many cases where stressful students decide to end their lives or commit suicide, just because they cannot get good grades that the parents want. See, uh, real life example, right? So maybe if they want to say, oh, like the case of this and that, okay, discuss that in class. which is very good for their motivation. I mean, encourage them to give ideas, right? And then uh, for the link, and therefore parents cannot push their children because this can affect the students' mental health. Right. So the other peel just now strategy is just talking straight away. Positive, not positively. Just explaining, indirect. Whereas opposite case scenario is you talking about if you don't do this, something else will happen. Right. So that is what I meant by opposite case scenario. So this is a good way for students to expand their ideas. Tell them, oh, okay, uh, use the opposite case scenario pula. You can do that to students. Basically it's a habit, turning that into a habit. Right? Okay. Now, I normally, will ask the students whenever they want to talk or they want to write something, an essay, they will use this template. Yeah. Okay. For example, this one, you just give simple what question or issue. For this one, I use environmental issue. So the destruction of our environment is due to our own selfishness and greed. So uh, you are actually training them to have opinion, right? So your opinion, whether you say I agree or not agree, do not agree with the statement, because why? So you can ask them to write 2 points maybe, or 1 point in this one peel table, and another point in another peel table. Yeah. Okay, I'm sure many of you have done this. It's just that we need to see, to hear maybe somebody explaining it again. Sometimes we need conviction, right? Oh, somebody else is doing like this. So yes, this is what we can do to help students, especially in low free proficiency band, right? To expand their notes, right? So thank you all for listening, for your attention. I think that's all. That's about it from me. Okay. Okay. If I'm sure if you have any question, please post. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Okay, I think we have too much information tonight. Really useful. Just like you said, some of it we have tried before, but like you said, we need to hear it over and over again and to see other people have tried it and it's successful with them. So
Yes.
why
Yeah.
not? Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think it has been very insightful. I'm still waiting for questions. So if the audience have any questions to ask our speaker tonight, please feel free to post your questions. While waiting, I have a few questions on my own. If you don't mind, I'm asking you some questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Um, I'm curious. How long does it usually take for your students to practice not expansion for you to really see their
See
improvement?
the progress. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I would say usually 1 semester, maybe. Yeah, true. Well, sometimes I use about a month to just have them write the thesis statement, the good thesis statement, and from that thesis statement, then they can develop that into their this peel strategy. Right. So yes,
Mm.
it takes especially for the back classes, the low proficiency student, it takes time. I would say usually to the next monthly test, maybe sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. Then
Yeah.
you'll see,
So
oh, the students remember, oh, remember this. Okay, good. You feel proud to, when your student did what you told them to do.
yeah. So I'm sure you notice that the progress will vary from one student to another.
to another. Correct.
Yeah. So for those students who are quite slow from the others, do you need to support them with more strategies, or how do you do
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Usually, okay. I would actually tell the students. I mean that the lower than the rest. Some students they get it quick, but for those students who doesn't get it at the first go, uh, I'll uh, luckily it's form 6. There are not many students in class usually. I'm just saying around 20 plus, 30 odd plus, maybe not up to 40 or 50 usually. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
I will have private consultation with this student, not many usually. uh, and what we do is sometimes I pair these weaker students with the able ones. Uh, Perhaps
Mm-hmm.
the students may not get it from me when we are the teacher, um, but from a peer, yeah, from a friend, maybe it's simpler, right? So sometimes I don't focus so much on the good ones because the good ones are good already. Yeah, we had to focus on the weaker ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
usually I did that.
Okay. So my next question: which skill do your students find hardest in not expansion? Is it generating ideas, or is it using their vocabulary to link sentences?
I would say both in vocab and ideas, uh, because in a
Mm,
way, you know, when they do not have the vocab, how can they develop their ideas? And they want to say
true.
maybe government should apa, they are drinking hard. Okay, that's why they need to have the vocab to support generating ideas. This is where
Mm,
usually like what I mentioned, or of course I didn't go into detail about scaffolding reading, right? I give
mm-hmm.
them simple short reading passages where we have all the vocab we think they should master, right? First in simple level of reading, right? And then going on to a more difficult ones, so that at least they know, okay, from especially like one of my students, extinction, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
big word for those weaker students. So how can they use it in you know generating ideas? So I've given them short stories or short articles about extinct endangered animals, nearly extinct, and then suddenly this extinction, then they get the idea of how to use that word.
I really like that idea. I think that there's a link between reading to writing. So before they can
Yes,
write, they need
definitely.
to read first to get the
Yes,
ideas.
yes,
Yeah.
correct,
So
correct.
yeah, that's what you have just shared just now. So that's really interesting. It looks like our audience there, they really understand what you've been sharing. There's
It's something common, I guess. Yeah, it's not something from planet Jupiter.
but I'm sure many of us have picked useful strategies that we can apply in our classroom, and
Yeah.
I myself have learned a lot from the session. Although not everything is new, but there's always a
New.
different perspective that we can learn,
Yes.
and always good to be reminded of what we probably have missed before. So for me, it's practical, doable, and also relevant to not just MUET students as the
Yes,
form 5,
actually.
the form 4. Yeah, we all need this not expansion. We all
Yes.
have this kind of students. Um, Before we move on to the next session, just a reminder for all, we will now share the registration form link for your attendance. Please make sure to fill your attendance for tonight. Okay, yeah, the link will be shared now, And then we also would encourage you to further this discussion and your reflection in our Padlet. We have a Padlet link as well. We will share the Padlet link now as well. We hope that you will participate in doing more discussion about this. I've posted few questions in there, so you might want to respond to the questions, or you might want to ask your own questions for others to respond. And lastly, don't forget to follow the NELCoNS Facebook page for updates on our upcoming webinar in this series. Okay, I just remember. Okay, we have a question, I think, from Raymond. I'm not sure if I pronounce it correctly. Raymond Kong. What about students who tend to write exceeding the number of words, especially question one in writing? What is your opinion on that? Yeah.
Okay. Uh, okay. Sir Raymond. Okay. Are we talking about low proficiency student or just general students? If okay, I'm sure if low proficiency student, they wouldn't be exceeding the number of words. So we are talking about in general. Um. Okay. One thing in question one, yes, it's only the suggested answering time is 25 minutes. Tell them this. You shouldn't be over exerting your effort there, wherein you should be applying your full attention in question two. Because one thing, the score for writing email is only 30 marks, whereas in essay it's 60 marks, so it's double the score. So uh, you know I'm sure if student write exceeding like more than 100 or 200 words, right? I mean, the minimum is 150, but if they go more like 300, they will have lesser time to concentrate in question two, and that would be a very you know pitiful situation for these students, because I'm not sure if they can get full marks, but okay, let's say they can get full marks for question one. But if you only manage to write one or two paragraph in question two, that would be disastrous for your score. Yeah? Tell the students, please, you have this 60 marks here and this 30 marks in question one. Don't Again, don't overexert yourself in question one. Write as the required words, minimum 150. So I would suggest around 200 plus, just 200 plus, because remember, it's guided essay, right? And the prompt is there, so follow the prompt. If it's only one word, like for example interesting and dot 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 and ellipsis, so uh student should not be answering something like interesting. There should no, just interesting. I would love to go there. Simple as that. But when the prompt say describe two or state two, there is where you have to write longer. Tell the students like that. Yeah. I
Yeah.
hope that answer your question, sir.
Yeah.
Raymond.
Yeah, Cikgu Raymond, I hope that answers your question. And true that we need to read the requirements from the task so that we will be able to support our students accordingly. Yeah. Okay, so many people from Pitas, from Lahadatu, and there are quite a lot from SMK Pengerang Utama.
Utama, yeah.
Yeah, there
So
are quite a lot.
is that in Johor? I think it's in Johor.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Probably Pengerang
Yeah.
Utama, yeah. So, and also from Papar, Lahadatu, we have a few. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Yeah, yeah, we have from Kelantan as well, from Perak.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tambunan. Yeah, we are from Tambunan, and they all would like to thank you for your sharing. Hello, Nancy.
Okay.
And yeah, but before we wrap up the session tonight, any last words from you, Cikgu Feiruzie?
Um, it's just of whenever students we get all sorts of students every year. uh, don't be discouraged just by looking at them, for the first month. Yes, the first month is the most important period where you actually get to know them. Yeah, we can do something for them actually. It's just that how much and how fast is the progress that we can see. That's the different story. But don't be uh, how should I jangan berputus asa. Don't
Yeah,
lose hope on them. Yes, yeah.
yeah, that's very inspiring. Oh, we have from Sandakan, Pusat Tingkatan
Ah,
6 Tambunan, Telupit. Yeah,
ah,
thank you for coming. And to show
yeah.
our appreciation, let us watch a short video to appreciate our guest of honor tonight. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Feel like
Yeah.
dancing.
Yeah. So on behalf of NELCoNS, I would like to sincerely thank you again, Cikgu Feiruzie, for your valuable sharing. And thank you all, the audience who participate tonight. Um, Probably more people will be able to view this video later on. It's on YouTube
Yes,
available,
correct.
so you don't need to wait for the recording. Uh-huh. And just a few quick reminders. Don't forget to fill in the registration form. Okay. I think it's shared already. And please do participate in the conversation in Padlet. Please bring whatever you can share with us, your reflection on tonight's session. This is very important for to show engagement and impact. So do uh, respond to the Padlet and then follow our Facebook page to stay updated on the next sessions. We will have more series next. And if you are not able to fill in any of the Padlet questions, you can just copy the links first. I'm sure my friend will share the links again for the registration and the Padlet link. So we hope you found tonight's community of practice session beneficial. Have a pleasant evening and see you at our next webinar. Thank you, Chegi Fairuzi. Thank you, everyone.
Welcome. My pleasure.
Good
Thank you
night.
for inviting me. Thank you.
All right. Good night.